Inside Jiangsu Number 2 High School, the atmosphere is heavy. On the blackboard, bold letters remind everyone. Only one day left before the unified exam. At the front of the room, Teacher Chun Fan delivers his final instructions. He tells the liberal arts candidates to ready their stationery, then turns sternly toward the martial arts candidates, reminding them to prepare their combat gear and weapons. He warns that the martial arts exam isn't just difficult, it's deadly. Anyone whose awakened ability is below D rank, he urges, should think twice before signing up. From his seat, Su Jingming lets out a faint smirk. He knows the warning is meant for him. Inwardly, he reflects on his situation. Somehow, he has crossed into this new world called Blue Star. Technology here is almost the same as his old world, but it's plagued by vicious, man-eating beasts. To fight back, humanity relies on awakened powers, gifts that surface at age 16 and are ranked from F all the way to S. Most people never awake beyond F to D grade. Su Jingming's own power flickers in his hand, a spark of faint lightning. His ability is E rank, weak electricity. Disappointingly, it's no stronger than a cheap stun baton. As he broods, his desk is tapped. Huang Tan, a blonde-haired classmate, leans in with a sneer. He asks if Su Jingming still dares to take the martial arts exam. Mocking him as E-rank garbage will only drag down the school's reputation. With a smirk, he tells Su Jingming to just stick with liberal arts. If he does, maybe one day, he could be a clerk working under Huang Tian's company. Before Su Jingming can respond, Lin Xingwan rises from her seat. She cuts Huang Tian off, telling him to mind his own business. Huang Tian scoffs at her defense and vows to prove himself during the exam. As he walks away, he throws one last vicious remark over his shoulder, predicting Su Jingming will die in the exam field. Once he's gone, Lin Xingwan turns back to Su Jingming, her voice softer now. She tells him not to take Huang Tian's words to heart, suggesting that choosing liberal arts might not be such a bad path after all. Su Jingming stays quiet, deep in his own thoughts. His eyes drop to his exam registration form. On it, his ability is clearly listed, E-rank elemental. In the Great Daxia Kingdom, the education system is split into two paths. Those with weaker powers can take the safer route of liberal arts, living an ordinary life. But the martial path, it's a gamble with danger at every step. For the martial exam, students are sent into restricted zones where savage beasts await. Only by surviving can they earn entry into an ability user university. Inside those institutions, years of harsh training can turn even someone ordinary into a true powerhouse. Su Jingming understands why both Teacher Chun Fan and Lin Qingwan worry for him. They fear the outcome if he dares to step onto that battlefield. But he also knows the truth. Running won't save him. The beasts won't stop coming. That thought pulls him back to a memory burned deep in his heart. A beast tied from years ago. A small boy kneeling on the ground, crying over the lifeless forms of his parents. Powerless, broken. That pain fuels him even now. He refuses to be that helpless child ever again. Gripping his registration form, his eyes harden with resolve. No matter what, he will face the martial arts exam. As the sun dips below the horizon, Su Jingming is inside a training hall. His hands tighten around a long spear as arcs of faint blue electricity crawl across its shaft. With a loud shout, he swings hard, lightning bursting along the weapon's edge. Again and again he repeats, pouring everything into his strikes until his body gives out. Exhaustion hits. He yawns wide, then slumps onto the floor, the spear clattering beside him. Staring at the ceiling, he mutters about his fatigue. For 2.5 years, he has trained with this spear, yet his mastery is still stuck at the beginner's stage. He remembers the technique he bought, Lightning Gale Break. The price was steep, 300,000, but at least with it, he believes himself a little stronger than the average E-rank awakened. Still, the grim truth lingers. Year after year, the death toll for students below D rank grows higher. That knowledge only hardens his resolve. If he wants to survive, if he wants to step into an awakened university, he must fight with everything he has. Pulling himself off the ground, He walks toward a machine. His fist clenches as he reaches for its panel. Suddenly, a blue holographic screen flickers into existence before him. System activating. His eyes widen. Shock floods him as the display shifts again. Newbie gift package available. Claim. Lying there in disbelief, realization hits. Could this be it? The legendary cheat system that all transmigrators dream of? His shock quickly gives way to excitement. A grin stretches across his face as he thinks about what rewards might await. The system doesn't make him wait. The contents flash before his eyes. An S-rank super ability and 200 ability points. For a moment, he is completely speechless. An S-rank ability, the rarest of the rare. In a nation as powerful as Dacia, possessing an S-rank ability means immediate recruitment by the top universities and cultivation into a true powerhouse. Su Jingming is left stunned by the revelation. His heart pounds with disbelief, but also with hope. All his life, he carried the label of E-rank trash. Yet now, this system had handed him a chance to rewrite his fate. His lips curl into a determined smile as faint sparks of his old weak electricity flicker across his palm. Claim. He accepts the gift without hesitation. In the next instant, 3 system windows unfold before him. Newbie package claimed. 200 ability points credited. S-rank ability. Purple Cloud, Thunder, God Lightning. Now distributing. The surge begins at his core. Energy floods directly into his heart. The sensation is unbearable, like being ripped apart from the inside. Violent purple lightning bursts through his body, shredding his shirt as if paper. A progress bar flickers in his vision, crawling upward as the storm within him grows wilder. The room cannot withstand the eruption. Windows shatter outward, walls crack, and debris scatters. Outside on the street, passers-by freeze at the sight of the explosion of light. A woman points upward in shock while her child tugs at her sleeve, asking what's happening. A young man fumbles with his phone, frantically urging someone to call the fire department for the Shu family's son. Inside, Su Jingming thrashes as the process climbs past 50%. His cries are drowned out by the roar of thunder. On the streets below, people watch as the sky itself darkens. Clouds twist and churn, and from them emerges a colossal dragon woven entirely from lightning, its body stretching across the heavens. The sight draws the attention of powerful figures. In a high rise, one man wonders aloud if a terrifying beast has breached the city. Elsewhere, a military commander barks orders, mobilizing Jiangcheng's 3rd Legion in a high alert. The dragon above lets out a silent roar, then dives downward, its massive form collapsing into a torrent of energy that pours straight into Su Jingming's body. He screams one final time. Then the progress bar blazes to full. Ability transformation complete. The violent storm ends in an instant. The oppressive pressure vanishes, leaving the training hall in ruins. Su Jingming remains standing amid the wreckage, chest heaving, sweat dripping. Slowly, he lifts his hand. Blue and purple lightning coils tightly around his fist, sparking with destructive intent. A confident grin forms. This was no longer the feeble current of a stunned baton. This was raw power, enough to obliterate with a single strike. But as his gaze shifts around the room, his excitement dims. The windows are gone, the walls fractured, the floor scorched. The commotion had been far greater than he intended. Relief flickers in him at the thought that he managed to suppress part of it. Then his eyes return to the floating system screen. The reminder of the second reward remains. 200 ability points. What are these used for? He mutters, reaching out to touch the interface once more. The system's voice explains, ability points are earned by slaying fierce beasts. They can be spent to strengthen his body, his spirit, and his skills. A sly grin spreads across Su Jingming's face. A cheat system this straightforward was everything he could have hoped for. Open system panel. At once, a detailed status screen unfolds before him. Name, Su Jingming. Level, unranked awakened. Ability, S rank, Purple Heaven Divine Thunder. Ability points, 200. With the unified exam just one day away, his gaze sharpens. He knows these points must be used wisely if he's to maximize his strength. Blue sparks crackle across his fingertips as he commands. Allocate points. He thinks carefully. All abilities stem from the body and the spirit. Only by strengthening both can he unleash his full potential. He directs the system to divide the points between them. The upgrade begins instantly. His stats for physique and spirit skyrocket. A swirl of dark purple energy erupts around him, filling the room with violent pressure. His mind spins as he marvels at the change. The surge of vitality coursing through his veins, his thoughts clearer, sharper than ever before. Clenching his fist, he feels power gathering. He swings once. The air itself cracks apart as a vortex of blue and purple lightning blasts from his strike, far beyond anything he could have produced before. Looking down at his sparking hand, he understands. By elevating his raw attributes, his control over every technique, every spark of lightning, has reached a higher level. The panel updates again. Physique, 141. Spirit, 160. The system notes that each ability point translates into 0.2 units of vital or spirit energy. Su Jingming grins wide. With this strength, stepping into an awakened university no longer feels like a dream. It feels inevitable. But his thoughts drift. Across the province, more than 700,000 candidates will enter the same exam, many of them geniuses groomed from childhood. Where does he now stand among them? He doesn't intend to wait for an answer. With a flick of his foot, he kicks his spear from the rubble, catches it, and slings it onto his shoulder. His decision is clear. He will head to the martial arts hall and measure his new power. But before he can take a step, his apartment door slams open. 3 firefighters rush inside, hoses and gear at the ready. Su Jingming freezes in surprise. The lead firefighter pauses, scanning the devastated room, and frowns. We got a call about a fire here. Standing amid the wreckage, lightning still faintly sparking around him, Su Jingming straightens and replies calmly. It was just ability training. Everything's fine now. The lead firefighter accepts Su Jingming's explanation. Incidents involving awakened individuals aren't unusual, and he knows better than to press further. With a nod, he radios his team to withdraw. As they head out, he glances back one last time, a trace of admiration in his eyes. To think the younger generation could create such a disturbance simply by training, it was impressive. Soon, the fire truck pulls away, leaving the street quiet again. Now dressed in his school uniform with his spear slung over his back, Su Jingming walks down the road. His neighbor, Uncle Yang, waves him over with concern, asking if he's all right after the supposed fire. Su Jingming reassures him that everything is fine. Uncle Yang notices the spear and chuckles, praising him for his diligence, even training with the exam just a day away. The narration shifts, explaining the role of martial arts halls in this world. For awakened individuals, growth comes from developing both the body and the spirit. Martial halls are vital for this progress, offering facilities most families could never afford on their own. Among them, 2 chains dominate: Thunder Martial Arts Hall and Brutal Bear Martial Arts Hall. Brutal Bear is luxurious, but its prices ensure it's a playground only for the wealthy. Thunder, on the other hand, opens its doors to all high school students for free, making it the most popular choice across the nation. It's at Thunder Hall that Su Jingming soon arrives. Inside, the place is bustling with students training, chatting, and preparing for the coming exam. Among them, he spots a familiar figure, a girl with long black hair and striking red eyes. His cousin, Tang Chi. Approaching, Su Jingming asks casually why she's here. Tang Chi blinks in surprise at the sight of him before replying that she's just accompanying a friend. Su Jingming doesn't linger. With a polite nod, he tells her to enjoy her visit with her friends and then makes his way toward the training rooms. As his figure retreats, Tang Chi watches thoughtfully. Something about him feels different. Her cheerful friend, Xiaoya, has her eyes locked on Su Jingming as well. She lets out a sigh, whispering how handsome he looks, and quickly asks Tang Chi who he is. Tang Chi replies that he's her cousin, a third year like them, also taking the martial arts exam tomorrow. Xiaoya practically glows with excitement, swooning that he'd make the perfect boyfriend. A male friend immediately teases her for falling in love at first sight, and she admits without hesitation that she is. But Tang Chi quickly grounds her. She reminds Xiaoya that Su Jingming's awakened ability is only E-rank. The words hit hard. Xiaoya's fantasy shatters instantly, and she groans in disappointment, lamenting, "What a pity." The male friend smirks, saying it's admirable that someone with such a low rank even dares to attempt the martial arts exam. Tang Chi, however, doesn't share his humor. Her expression darkens as she mutters, "Courage means nothing when the risk is so high." Deciding not to dwell on it further, she steers the group back to their purpose. They're here to tour the hall. Xiaoya nods, brushing aside her earlier heartbreak, and mentions that she spent her entire high school years training at the costly Brutal Bear Hall. With the exam tomorrow, she thinks it'll be nice to unwind here for a change. Meanwhile, Su Jingming steps into an empty training room. In front of him stands a large round testing target. He grips his spear tightly, immediately noticing how much lighter it feels in his hands. The weapon itself hasn't changed, his body has. His strength has grown to the point where this old spear almost feels like a toy. Still, with the exam looming tomorrow, there's no time to replace it. For now, it will have to do. He decides to start simple. No lightning, no abilities, just pure physical strength. Taking a deep breath, he steadies his stance, muscles coiled with power. Then, with a sudden thrust, he drives the spear straight into the target center. The impact shakes the room, cracks spider across the advanced alloy surface, and the digital display above it blazes. 321. The target slowly knits itself back together, memory metal restoring its form. Su Jingming stares in disbelief. His raw strength had more than doubled. For ordinary, unranked awakeners, 100 calories was considered peak output. He had tripled that baseline without even using his ability. Excitement surges through him. Now, it's time to see the true extent of his new power. His eyes gleam with a faint blue glow. Sparks of purple and azure lightning crawl across his body, dancing wildly along the length of his spear. With a powerful leap, he raises it overhead and brings it crashing down. The room erupts in thunder. Arcs of lightning explode outward as the target absorbs the strike. The display above flickers before settling on an astonishing number, 3,021. Su Jingming's heart pounds. Just one strike, and he's already reached the level of a mid-tier First-Order Awakener. The official standard for breaking into First Order was 1,000 calories. He wasn't even ranked yet, and he was already triple that. But he isn't satisfied. Lightning continues to crackle around him as he declares this isn't his limit, drawing on everything. His new physique, his enhanced spirit, his devastating S-rank ability, and the spear skills he's honed for years. He begins to channel all of it into one decisive move. The spear glows, swallowed by searing purple lightning. As he swings in a wide arc, the energy condenses at the spearhead into a blazing sphere of raw destruction. Break! The strike detonates against the target. A massive blast of purple light floods the room, a shockwave tearing through the hall. In the main stadium, students stumble as the ground quakes. One panicked voice shouts, asking if it's an earthquake. On the training floor, Tang Chi, Xiaoya, and their friends are nearly knocked off their feet, struggling to steady themselves as the tremors ripple through the building. The brown-haired boy in the group frowns, his expression turning serious as he senses the lingering pressure in the air. He mutters that the energy feels like something only a true awakener could release. The group begins to wonder aloud. Could a brand new Awakened-level student have just appeared? But all the known ones in the city were supposed to be training at the other hall. Curiosity gets the better of Tang Chi. She insists they go see for themselves. The group follows the trail of residual energy down the corridor. As they round the corner, they nearly collide with Su Jingming, who is just leaving, his spearhead carefully wrapped in cloth. "Jingming," Tang Chi calls out, startled to see him. He doesn't break stride, answering calmly that he's heading home to prepare for tomorrow's exam. His face shows nothing of the storm he just unleashed. One of the boys waves him off, telling the group not to bother with him. Instead, he points toward the training room Su Jingming just walked out of. That, he says, is where the energy had come from. Driven by curiosity, they push the door open and peer inside, only to freeze in stunned silence. The once sturdy training room is completely destroyed. The advanced alloy target, made of high-grade memory metal, has been obliterated. Even the reinforced wall behind it is shattered into a gaping crater of rubble. The entire room looks like a battlefield. Xiaoyu gasps, her voice trembling with disbelief. She exclaims that even memory metal was torn apart. That level of destructive force should have been impossible in a high school training room. She wonders aloud if any student in Jiangsheng could possibly be that strong. But the brown-haired boy quickly shakes his head, placing a hand against the crater's jagged edge. He says the residual energy is far too violent to belong to a student. His theory is simple. A powerful second-order ability user must have accidentally wandered onto the student floor. Another friend nods in agreement, adding that not even a genius from the provincial capital could cause this much damage, let alone someone from their small city. But Xiaoyu refuses to let it go. Her eyes brighten with excitement as she blurts out her own theory that maybe, just maybe, Su Jingming is actually a hidden super genius. Her friends immediately burst into laughter. One teases her for reading too many novels, while another points out coldly that Su Jingming is a known earache. At best, his strikes would only hit 300, nowhere near this scale of destruction. The boy offers another explanation. Whoever caused the devastation must have left through another corridor. Then he turns to Tang Chi, who has been quiet the whole time, and asks what she thinks. Tang Chi doesn't argue. She only says one word, maybe. Stepping past them, she runs her hand across the ruined wall. Her eyes narrow as she studies the marks embedded deep in the rubble. The grooves are unmistakable. They look exactly like the aftermath of a spear strike. The image of her cousin holding his spear flashes through Tang Chi's mind. A heavy doubt begins to settle in her chest. She silently wonders if Su Jingming taking the martial arts exam is really courage, or just him overestimating himself. The next morning arrives, bright and clear, the day of the martial arts exam. Dozens of buses roll up to a massive fortified testing ground, unloading waves of students, each carrying their chosen weapons. Among them is Su Jingming, walking with a calm, steady confidence, his spear resting casually on his shoulder. Ahead of them, a towering fence separates the students from the exam grounds. Through it, they can see the ruins of a vast, beast-infested town. The air is thick with tension. Some students stare with awe, others with fear. One voice breaks the silence. A nervous student complaining that this year's exam is unfair. The beasts look far stronger than before. Murmurs spread, many agreeing that the difficulty seems to have risen sharply. Then, cutting across the chatter, comes a sharp, arrogant laugh. A tall youth with long hair and a massive sword slung across his back sneers at the group. He mocks their fear, declaring that anyone who can't handle a mere unicorn rhinoceros has no right to be here. His scorn leaves the crowd speechless. Nearby, Su Jingming's best friend, Lu Jie, frowns and leans closer. "Who's that loudmouth?" he asks. Su Jingming checks his ID, reading the name, Zhou Mingyang. Lu Jie's expression shifts. Zhou Mingyang, the genius. He's B rank, already stepped into first order. That's something only a handful of high schoolers have ever managed. Su Jingming's eyes linger on the prodigy. A confident smile touches his lips, a flicker of competitiveness shining within. Quietly, he wonders between them who is stronger. Before the thought can deepen, a booming voice echoes over the venue. "Candidates, attention!" All eyes snap toward a scar-faced man in a military uniform standing atop an armored vehicle. His presence alone silences the crowd. "I am Commander Wang Haiyang," he announces, chief overseer of this year's martial arts exam. "Before we begin, listen carefully to the rules. He gestures to the ruined town sprawling beyond the fence. The exam runs for 12 hours, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. The battleground is divided into 4 zones: outer, central, inner, and core. Points are earned by slaying beasts. The stronger the beast, the higher the score. His voice hardens, his expression grave. The core area is a bonus section. Only the best should dare to step into it. Remember, your lives come first. Do not gamble with them for a higher score. As the commander's warning hangs in the air, Su Jingming closes his eyes briefly, reflecting. Before the system, before his newfound strength, he would have been confined to the outer zone, scraping by on the weakest prey. But now, his body thrums with power, his spirit brims with energy, and his ambition burns hot. When the gates open, he intends not just to survive, but to push deep into the inner circle, and maybe, if fate allows, even challenge the core. An announcement echoes across the grounds, instructing students to collect their exam supplies. Su Jingming and his friend make their way to teacher Chen Fan, who is distributing tactical backpacks. Inside each pack are the essentials: a smartwatch to track points, a few energy bars, a hydration bottle, a medical kit, and most importantly, a safety ball. The sphere can unleash a high-voltage barrier, enough to repel beasts, but activating it will end the exam immediately. As Chen Fan hands the pack to Su Jingming, his voice softens. Remember, your life matters more than your score. If it comes to it, don't hesitate to use the safety ball. Su Jingming bows his head slightly. Thank you, teacher. Just then, a familiar voice calls his name. He turns to see Lin Qingluan running toward him, her expression warm as she invites him to join her team. At her side stands their class president, Lu Qin, a solid C rank who confidently assures Su Jingming that he'll keep him safe in the exam. But before Su Jingming can answer, another student cuts in sharply. He protests that this is a competition, not charity, and claims that dragging along an E rank will only lower their score. Another teammate quickly joins in, glaring at Lu Qin for changing their plan without consent. The two of them make it clear they don't want dead weight holding them back. Lu Jie bristles with anger, ready to defend his friend, but Su Jingming calmly raises a hand to stop him. Smiling faintly, he declines the offer. I appreciate your kindness, but I'll be going in alone. Lin Qingluan hesitates, worry written in her eyes, but eventually nods. Then at least be careful. The complaining student scoffs, muttering that they should just find Huang Tian to team up with instead. He laughs mockingly as the group turns and walks away. Su Jingming watches them leave, his lips curling into a confident smirk. He knows better than anyone. He's more than capable of achieving a high score on his own. Moments later, the loudspeakers blare again. The martial arts exam is officially beginning. Drones rise into the air by the hundreds, their cameras locking on, ready to broadcast every moment to the watching world. With a deafening groan, the massive gates swing open. Like a flood, thousands of students surge forward, shouting their goals and rallying cries as they charge into the ruined city. Tang Shi and her friends push ahead with determination. A girl with a massive sword strides into the fray. At the very front, Zhou Mingyang leaps forward, his wind ability propelling him above the pack. In contrast, Su Jingming doesn't rush. He steps calmly across the threshold, then breaks into a steady run, spear gripped firmly in his hand. His eyes sharpen. The time has finally come. As he moves through the gate, he taps the smartwatch on his wrist. A holographic panel flickers to life, verifying his identity and displaying the real-time rankings. The leaderboard has already taken shape. At the very top sits Zhou Mingyang with 7 points, 2 others trailing just behind him. Standing before the ranking board, Su Jingming takes it all in with quiet confidence. Zhou may have begun his hunt early, but instead of discouraging him, it only sharpens his own determination. While the rest scatter across the outskirts, fighting weaker prey, Su Jingming chooses a different path. He wastes no time, heading directly into the heart of danger, the core area, where the rewards are greatest, but so are the risks. The ruined city grows darker and heavier as he ventures deeper. Suddenly, he halts. Before him lies a chilling sight. A student sprawled lifeless in a pool of blood, a green safety ball untouched at his side. The attack had been so swift, the boy never had a chance to activate it. For the first time, the brutal truth of the exam sinks in. The warnings from his teachers and the commander echo in his mind. Without the S-class ability he had received only yesterday, he could just as easily have been that body on the ground. With a firm breath, he steadies himself. Kneeling down, he retrieves the fallen student's smartwatch, sending out the signal for recovery. Opportunity always comes hand in hand with danger, he reminds himself. But then, movement. A faint sound from the shadows. Out of a crumbling building emerges a massive, clawed paw. A moment later, glowing purple eyes pierce the gloom. A shadow cat steps forward. In an instant, Su Jingming grasps the trap. The beasts left the corpse here as bait. And now, the predator strikes. The cat launches with terrifying speed, claws slicing through the air. But Su Jingming doesn't flinch. His body shifts effortlessly, sidestepping the attack as the beast shoots past him. The shadow cat twists, landing with fluid grace, eyes still locked on him. Known as a killer of the inexperienced, the beast is every bit as dangerous as the stories claim. Its muscles coil, its roar shakes the air, and its sharp fangs glisten with power strong enough to crush bone with a single bite. Su Jingming knows well why such creatures are feared. Their aura alone is a weapon, one that freezes most opponents in place, stripping away their strength and leaving them helpless. Many young awakeners fall victim before even lifting a weapon. He remembers how the children of wealthy families train under protection, shielded by guards as they face this crushing aura from an early age. That privilege was never his. Now, here he stands, facing his first real battle with a fierce beast. His grip tightens around the spear. The shadow cat lunges again. The shadow cat closes in, jaws wide, but Su Jingming doesn't even flinch. He plants his feet firmly, raising his spear. Purple lightning dances across the weapon, sparking wildly as he channels his strength. In a blur, the spear thrusts forward, the crackling tip tearing straight through the beast's head. The shadow cat collapses lifeless at his feet. Looking down at the fallen creature, Su Jingming notes something strange. The beast's suffocating aura, the pressure that should have paralyzed him, hadn't affected him at all. Before he can think further, a blue holographic window appears above his smartwatch. Kill confirmed. Fierce beast eliminated. Target: shadow cat, unranked. Ability points +3. The text scrolls on, reminding him of the system. Fierce beasts are ranked from 1 to 9. Anything below rank 1 is considered unranked, just like human awakeners without rank. He glances at the map displayed on his watch. 3 points. For all that effort, the reward feels insignificant. Unranked beasts are hardly worth his time. Now that he knows their aura has no effect on him, there's no reason to linger in the outer area. His goal is clear: the dangerous core of the battlefield. Without hesitation, he advances. Along the way, unranked beasts rush him. Shadow cats, iron-furred boars, wolf-like predators. Each one falls effortlessly, his spear cutting them down in a bloody trail. 3 points here, 5 points there. The numbers grow steadily, but something gnaws at him. This power of his, it's too overwhelming. Every strike ends a fight instantly. There's no real struggle, no chance to polish his technique. Worse, the energy drain is immense. He remembers his old E-rank ability, one he could maintain for hours without worry. But this new S-class power? At full strength, he couldn't last even a single hour. And the exam is 12. He clenches the spear tighter, a new plan forming. From here on, he'll fight without relying on that devastating lightning. He'll conserve his strength, and more importantly, gain the battle experience he needs. The spear alone will be his weapon. But before he can put this strategy to the test, the ground trembles. A massive shadow looms ahead. Bursting through the ruins, a towering bipedal unicorn rhinoceros stomps into view. Its roar shakes the air as it lowers its head, hurling a wrecked car aside like a toy. The beast charges. Su Jingming doesn't retreat. He braces himself, spear in hand. The horn smashes into him with bone-crushing force, sending him flying back. Yet in midair, he twists his body with impossible agility, turning the momentum into an advantage. He flips, spear raised high, descending like a thunderbolt. The rhino barely has time to react before the blade plunges deep into its skull. With a single precise strike, the massive beast collapses under him. The colossal rhinoceros crashes to the ground, lifeless. Su Jingming exhales lightly, surprised at how effortlessly it had fallen. Even a beast of that size hadn't been much of a challenge. A thought flickers through his mind. Had his spear technique advanced without him noticing? He summons his system panel, and the confirmation appears before him. His spear technique has reached the intermediate stage. His ability points, now totaling 256, gleam on the display. The realization is clear. Relying on his spear mastery is the fastest way to grow stronger. Without hesitation, he invests his points into the technique once more. In an instant, his mind is flooded. Countless advanced movements, intricate footwork, and deadly thrusts surge through him, searing themselves into his muscle memory. The weight of so much knowledge leaves him clutching his head, but when it settles, he feels reborn. With a spear firmly in hand, confidence radiates from him. He straightens, standing tall among the ruins, a predator awaiting his next prey. A grin plays on his lips as he whispers his anticipation. He can't wait to test these new skills against a ranked beast. Meanwhile, in another part of the outer area, Lin Xingluan and her group press through the crumbling streets. Suddenly, she halts, her eyes narrowing. For a fleeting moment, she thought she saw a familiar figure in the distance. I think that was Su Jingming, she says quietly. Her teammate immediately waves it off. You're seeing things. Su Jingming's just E rank. He wouldn't dare come this far in. It'd be suicide. But the doubt lingers in Lin Qingluan's chest. She can't shake the feeling and worry for her classmate gnaws at her. Before she can dwell on it further, another teammate calls out urgently. The group rushes over and freezes at the sight before them. A massive unicorn rhinoceros lying dead in the street. Its wounds are still fresh, the blood not yet dry. They study the killing strike. A single, clean wound to the head, delivered with perfect precision. The kind of mark only a long-handled weapon could leave. That's a spear wound. One of them blurts out. The pieces align in Lin Qingluan's mind. The silhouette she saw, the spear wound, the fresh kill. Her suspicion hardens. Could it really have been Su Jingming? She murmurs. Her skeptical teammate scoffs again. Don't be ridiculous. A unicorn rhinoceros? Only someone at C rank could take down a beast like this alone. Su Jingming doesn't stand chance. To end the debate, one of the students suggests checking the rankings. Lin Xingluan doesn't hesitate. She opens the leaderboard on her smartwatch. The moment the display appears, her breath catches. There, glowing on the screen, 46th place, 256 points. Su Jingming, second high school. Her eyes widen. It really is him, she blurts out. The others freeze, staring in disbelief. Their faces go pale as the reality sinks in, yet none of them want to accept it. How could the E-rank nobody they always look down on suddenly be standing in the top 50? They grasp for explanations, insisting it must be a coincidence, just someone else with the same name. But their voices falter, doubt clouding their certainty. Far away from the battlefield, in a hall filled with massive viewing screens, officials and VIPs watch the rankings climb in real time. A spectator leans back with a satisfied tone. As expected, First High School is dominating. Look at the top 10. In Zhou Mingyang, rank 1 with 412 points. At this rate, he'll surely be recognized as Jiang Cheng's #1 student. Another official chimes in, eyes narrowing. If he keeps this pace, maybe, just maybe, he could even break into the provincial top 100. Our city hasn't had that kind of talent in years. At the center of the group sits Zhang Wenshan, director of the Jiangxing Education Bureau. A smug smile spreads across his face. Zhou Mingyang is indeed the pride of our city. He will reach the provincial top 100, mark my words. He turns with praise toward the principals of first and third high, complimenting their school's excellence. The two men bow politely, thanking him with practiced humility. But then when Shan's gaze shifts, landing on Principal Zhou of second high, his smile turns cold, his words sharp. Principal Xiao, your school needs to work harder. Your so-called best student is only 18th. Hardly worth mentioning. Zhou forces a nervous laugh, sweat trickling as he bows deeply. Yes, director, you are right. We will strive harder. Inside, however, he burns with silent rage. He knows second high is struggling. Only 8 of their students made it into the top 50. He ticks through their names one by one in his mind. Then he stops. Su Jingming? The name catches him off guard. He doesn't recall ever hearing it. Frowning, he mutters aloud. Who is this student? Why haven't I heard of him before? He turns to the teacher beside him. Chun Fan. Teacher Chun, do you know this Su Jingming? The reaction is instant. Chun Fan's jaw drops, his face stiffening in shock. He wipes the sweat from his brow, stumbling over his words. Su Jingming? That's the weakest E rank in my class. The room falls silent. Chun Fan shakes his head furiously, struggling to process it. Could Su Jingming have been hiding his true power all along? No, impossible. It makes no sense. Frustration boils inside him as he looks at the monitors. Only the top 10 students have cameras trained on them, and Su Jingming's name is far below that threshold, which means for now, nobody has any idea what he's doing or how an E rank is tearing his way up the ranks so fast. Back inside the exam venue, Su Jingming has already broken through the outer area and stepped into the central zone, where danger thickens with every step. The ruined streets are quiet, almost unnervingly so. A glass bottle crunches under his boot as he walks, pausing only to unwrap an energy bar and take a few steady bites. He notes the change immediately. Fewer beasts prowl here. That only means one thing: ranked creatures. Beasts with intelligence, instincts, and territory of their own. The kind of opponents who truly test strength. Suddenly, he freezes. His senses sharpen, locking onto something ahead. His gaze narrows. Finally, my target arrives. A thunderous crash erupts as a striped monster bursts through a heap of wrecked cars. Muscles rippling, blades of bone jutting from its forelimbs. It's a first-rank fierce beast, the arm-blade tiger. Su Jingming doesn't back away. Instead, he lifts his spear and chuckles softly. What luck! A first-rank beast already? Perfect. The tiger snarls, unleashing a roar that rattles the ruins before lunging forward, claws slicing through the air. Su Jingming stands unmoved, spear held firm. At the last moment, he twists with elegant precision, spinning his weapon to parry the blow. The shaft meets claw, redirecting the strike and forcing the beast back a step. To Su Jingming, it feels effortless. He tilts his head, almost bored. This is all? So this is the strength of a first-rank beast? If it were a Tiger King, perhaps I'd bother to take it seriously. The mockery hits its mark. The arm-blade tiger's roar grows harsher, fury blazing in its eyes. Su Jingming narrows his stance, voice calm but decisive. Enough. I'll send you on your way. In a burst of speed, he lunges forward. His spear blurs through the air before sinking deep into the tiger's shoulder. Blood sprays, and the beast bellows in agony. But there's no pause, no room for recovery. Su Jingming's calm grip and relentless momentum keep pressing forward. The wound only drives the beast into madness. Its eyes ignite with a glowing teal light as it rises high on its hind legs, looming over him like a mountain. With a deafening roar, it brings its massive bladed claws crashing down in a strike meant to cleave him apart. But Su Jingming is faster. His body bends, pivots, he catches the nearest lamppost, swinging his weight around it with perfect control. The tiger's claws shred empty air where he once stood. In that same instant, his maneuver positions him perfectly for the counterattack. Landing lightly after his swift maneuver, Su Jingming steadies himself. His eyes fix on the arm-blade tiger, bleeding, battered, but still unwilling to back down. Its stubborn fight earns a brief nod of acknowledgement from him. But then his voice cuts through the air, cold and final. Enough. Any further resistance is meaningless. He raises his spear, channeling energy into the weapon. A swirling gale of blue lightning coils around the shaft, humming with raw power. Lightning gale break. His body blurs into motion. With a fierce cry, he spins, the spear slicing through the air again and again. Brilliant arcs of light streak outward, forming a storm of slashing energy. The devastating strike crashes into the beast. The arm-blade tiger roars one last time, a sound of pain and defiance, before its body is shredded by the violent vortex. With a thunderous crash, it collapses to the ground, lifeless. Almost instantly, his smartwatch chimes. Kill confirmed. Target, first rank arm-blade tiger. Ability points plus 14. Su Jingming glances at the notification with quiet satisfaction. 14 points, nearly double the reward of an unranked kill. A thought crystallizes in his mind. While this exam is a battlefield of life and death for others, for him, it's a treasure ground, an opportunity to grow stronger at an incredible pace. His grip tightens on the spear. Determination burns within him. He vows to claim as many points as possible, hunting the most powerful beast this arena can throw at him. Far away, in the audience stands, the tension thickens. Every eye is fixed on the leaderboard. Su Jingming's name now glows at 32nd place, 328 points. An official leans forward, turning sharply toward teacher Chen Fan. This student, he's from your class, isn't he? Suddenly, Chen Fan is the center of attention. Colleagues turn to him with admiration. Incredible. Only students from your class have broken into the top 50 from second high. Another nods approvingly. Your teaching methods must be remarkable. Flustered, Chen Fan forces a modest smile, waving off their praise. It's not me. The students worked hard for this. That's all. Before the conversation can continue, a shout erupts from the crowd. Look, the rankings again. Heads snap toward the massive screen. Su Jingming's name leaps upward, now at 25th place. Gasps ripple through the hall. Impossible. His score just jumped by 44 points at once. Director Zhang Wenshan narrows his eyes, quickly running the numbers. A peak unranked beast gives at most 6 points. A low-grade first rank yields 14 to 16. For someone's score to spike that sharply, multiple high-tier kills must have been made almost simultaneously. Principal Zhou continues the calculation aloud, his voice trembling. The rankings refresh every 4 seconds, which means he stops, face pale. The implication is staggering. An E-rank student from his own school might be mowing down ranked beasts in the central zone with terrifying speed. Director Zhang Wenshan quickly finishes the math. In just 4 seconds, Su Jingming had to have slain either 5 peak unranked beasts or 3 low-grade first ranks. A rare smile tugs at his lips. Such performance, it's been years since we've seen anything like this. He turns toward Principal Zhou, his tone almost curious. Tell me, why have I never heard of this student before? He seems to be quite the prospect. Principal Zhou swallows hard, still reeling. I only just learned of him myself. We'll have to ask his homeroom teacher. He snaps his fingers, summoning Chen Fan forward. All eyes turn to the nervous teacher. Beads of sweat trickle down his forehead as he bows before the city's top officials. Su Jingming. He awakened only an E-grade ability. Weak electricity. The words hang in the air like a thunderclap. The principal's jaw tightens. Are you certain? Could you be mistaken? Chen Fan shakes his head rapidly. No mistake. I was there. I even warned him not to join this exam. His ability was far too weak. A hush falls over the room. Director Zhang Wenshan leans back, eyes gleaming with intrigue. An E-grade, yet he has climbed this high. That means his strength comes from elsewhere. Interesting. Very interesting. He steeples his fingers, voice steady but firm. We'll soon have our answer. With this momentum, he's bound to break into the top 10. Once he does, the cameras will be on him, and we'll see exactly how he's achieving this. His smile fades into a sharp edge. But if he's cheating, there will be consequences. No sooner do the words leave his mouth than gasps erupt. Principal Zhou and Teacher Chun fan stare wide-eyed at the leaderboard. Rank 9, Su Jingming. He has done the impossible, forcing his way into the top 10. And sitting just beneath him at number 12, his cousin Tang Chi. Elsewhere in the exam hall, Tang Chi, now bearing cat-like ears and a sleek tail, perches atop a freshly slain beast. A faint smile crosses her lips. She no longer has any doubt. The destruction at the martial arts hall that day. Of course, it had been her cousin. High above, another figure notices the shift. Zhou Mingyang, the reigning number 1, glances at the updated leaderboard. With 6 hours still left, a new, unfamiliar name has entered the arena of elites. His brow furrows. Su Jingming? Never heard of him. Moments later, a camera drone buzzes to life, assigned to track the newcomer. The live feed projects across the massive screens for all to see. And there he is, Su Jingming, standing calmly as a spear flashes once more. In a single, precise strike, another first-ranked beast falls at his feet. His smartwatch flashes the result, plus 14 points. Su Jingming glances at the notification and murmurs to himself. The efficiency of hunting beasts in the central zone, far higher than outside. Su Jingming notices the drone hovering overhead. A faint smile tugs at his lips. He must have entered the top 10. Standing over the corpse of his latest kill, he reflects briefly. This exam is more than survival. It's a trial of strength and potential. Those who shine brightest will earn recognition. With that in mind, he sees no reason to conceal his power any longer. Breaking into the top 10, he mutters, eyes sharp, "This is only the beginning." Before moving on, he calls up his system panel. His spear technique gleams at the advanced stage. His total points, 312. Yet, disappointment flickers across his face. Despite all this, his rank still reads awakened. No automatic promotion. He thinks it through quickly. To ascend to a true ability user, he'll need a proper cultivation method, something far beyond reach in this exam. Fine. If he can't advance rank, then he'll sharpen his foundation. He spent his points without hesitation. Physique plus 40, spirit plus 22. A rush of strength surges through his body. Muscles tighten, senses sharpen. He clenches his fist, eager for the battles ahead. Soon, the ruins open into the entrance of the core area, the deadliest zone of all. And there, the sight before him is savage. 9 armored tigers feast on the carcass of a fallen rhinoceros, their metallic hides glinting under the dim light. But it's the one in the center that holds his focus, larger, stronger, radiating a crushing aura. The armored Tiger King. Su Jingming's lips curl into a grin. What a harvest! He's about to step forward when his instincts flare. Someone else is near. Without turning his head, he calls out, "Enough hiding. Come out." Footsteps echo, and from the shadows emerges Zhou Mingyang, the number 1 ranked student. His eyes gleam with interest. Impressive. To sense me so quickly. I didn't expect the mysterious newcomer in the top 10 to be you, Su Jingming. Recognition clicks immediately. Su Jingming narrows his eyes. The top-ranked student. How did you know who I was? Zhou Mingyang chuckles, drawing closer. I've studied every strong candidate qualified to reach the core zone. But you, an unfamiliar name rising this fast? Who else could it be? He nods toward the feasting tiger pack, resting his hand on the hilt of his sword. I've been observing them. The armored Tiger King is a mid-grade, first-rank beast. With 9 others at its side, no single person can take them all head-on. Su Jingming grips his spear tightly, suspicion flickering in his tone. What? Do you plan to steal my prey? Zhou Mingyang shakes his head. Not at all. I don't need to. But this pack, no matter how strong you are, facing them alone is reckless. Work with me, and we'll bring them down together. Su Jingming meets Zhou Mingyang's suggestion with 2 cold words. No need. His voice carries a certainty that leaves no room for doubt. I'm more than enough on my own. Without waiting for a reply, he steps boldly into the open. The sound of his boots crunching against the broken pavement immediately draws every armored tiger's gaze. A chorus of growls rumbles from their throats. The Tiger King, looming atop the rhino carcass, throws back its head and roars, its dominance shaking the ruins. Su Jingming's eyes narrow, analyzing the scene. As expected of a pack led by a king, the beasts have formed a crude formation, stronger ones in the front, the weaker flanking behind. They're not mindless, they're disciplined. The tension snaps as one tiger breaks rank, barreling toward him with murderous speed. From his hidden vantage point, Zhou Mingyang stiffens. He watches with both disbelief and fascination. Is Su Jingming charging to his death, or is his confidence real? Su Jingming doesn't move. He waits, his spear lowered casually, an aura of calm radiating around him. The charging beast closes the distance, until, in a sudden blur, his weapon comes alive. The spear spins with such velocity that the shaft becomes a whirling circle, energy building in violent waves. Then, boom, he unleashes a devastating sweeping strike. A crescent arc of raw force tears through the air, wide enough to engulf multiple targets. The first tiger never stood a chance, nor did the beast beside it. Flesh and bone split cleanly as the spinning sweep rips through them. Blood erupts across the ruined street as 4 tigers collapse instantly. Notifications flare across his smartwatch. +14, +14, +14. The pavement runs red as the broken bodies slump to the ground. In an instant, half the pack has been erased. The Tiger King's furious roar splits the sky, the air trembling with rage. Su Jingming glances at the carnage with only mild dissatisfaction. TCH, my body's still not strong enough. Could have ended them all in one strike. The surviving tigers regroup, circling him like predators cornering prey. The king steps forward, its teal eyes burning with fury. Then, it opens its jaws wide. The roar that follows isn't just sound. It's a sonic weapon, vibrating with lethal force. The shockwave shatters every nearby window, sending glass raining down like a storm. The ground itself seems to tremble under the beast's fury. Even from his safe vantage point, Zhou Mingyang winces, clutching his head as pain rings through his skull. That roar alone, it could tear apart most challengers. Yet in the eye of the storm, Su Jingming stands alone, spear in hand, his expression unshaken. Su Jingming stands tall in the storm of broken glass, unfazed by the Tiger King's deafening roar. The sonic blast that could cripple most fighters is nothing to him. His voice cuts through the chaos, steady and defiant. You might terrify others, but you can't scare me. The pack responds with violence. The surviving tigers leap in from every direction, claws flashing, fangs snapping. Su Jingming meets their charge head-on. His spear flows like water, deflecting one strike, then another. With fluid precision, he twists, planting the shaft against the ground and vaulting upward. His feet kick off a tiger's back, sending him soaring above the snapping jaws of another. The Tiger King sees its chance and lunges, but Su Jingming is already in position. Still midair, he channels his full strength into a single decisive blow. His spear arcs down like a guillotine, splitting the air with unstoppable force. Crack! The weapon slams into the beast's skull, cleaving it open in one brutal strike. The king crumples where it stands, dead before it even hits the ground. Su Jingming lands lightly, spear in hand, as his smartwatch flashes. Kill confirmed. Upper rank first order arm blade tiger. Plus 20 ability points. From the shadows, Zhou Mingyang can only stare. His body stiffens, sweat sliding down his face. Wide-eyed, he mutters under his breath. Impossible. He wiped out the entire pack by himself? What kind of monster is he? Su Jingming, meanwhile, is exhilarated. His points have surged, the tiger pack slaughter granting him a massive harvest. He grins, thoughts racing. If I keep this pace, how many points can I rack up before the 12 hours are over? The more I gain, the stronger I become. He turns to leave, ready to hunt again. But before he can take another step, Zhou Mingyang bursts from his hiding place. Wait, Zhou demands, his voice sharp. How did you do it? Crushing an entire pack like that, with just a spear? Your ability, is it some kind of reinforcement type? Su Jingming barely glances his way. With a powerful leap, he pushes off into the distance, calling back casually, lightning type. Zhou Mingyang freezes, rage boiling beneath his skin. He clenches his fist, teeth grinding. Lightning type? TCH, does he think I'm a fool? He's mocking me. The thought burns deeper as realization hits him. If Su Jingming is killing this many beasts, his score must be skyrocketing. Hastily, he checks his smartwatch. The sight nearly makes his heart stop. Rank 1. Su Jingming, 1122 points. Rank 2. Zhou Mingyang, 985 points. Su Jingming hasn't just caught up. He surpassed him. No, no, no. Zhou's roar of frustration echoes across the ruined city. A cry of disbelief and fury as his #1 position slips away. Back in the stands, the audience erupts into cheers. Officials are on their feet, voices buzzing with excitement. Director Zhang Wenshan himself rises, his face glowing with pride. Magnificent! That level of spearmanship, this confirms it. Su Jingming is a true genius. He clasps Principal Zhou's shoulder with both hands, his voice booming across the room. With Su Jingming representing us, Jiangxun will finally break into the provincial top 100. The declaration draws thunderous applause. Zhang Wenshan goes further, promising that Second High will receive special accommodations once the exam is over. Tears well in Zhou's eyes as he bows repeatedly, overwhelmed. At last, Second High has its day to shine, he thinks, his chest swelling with pride. And it's all because of Su Jingming. 3 hours later, deep within the core zone, the mood is very different. Zhou Mingyang trudges through the deserted streets, his brows furrowed in frustration. He mutters under his breath, "Where have all the beasts gone?" A voice answers from behind. "Why don't you ask the #1 ranked student?" He spins around. His cousin Tang Qi stands there, flanked by other top-ranked fighters, Waha and Mangda. Tang Qi gestures at the empty ruins. It's simple. Su Jingming already killed them all. We searched everywhere. Nothing left. Zhou Mingyang's jaw tightens. Impossible. One person couldn't clear out the entire core zone. But Tang Qi's gaze is cool, unwavering. Cousin, it's obvious you've only recently become a ranked ability user. Otherwise, you'd understand. She lifts her smartwatch and activates the leaderboard. Look for yourself. Zhou's eyes lock onto the glowing numbers. His face drains of color. Rank 1. Su Jingming, 3,435 points. Rank 2. Zhou Mingyang, barely a third of that total. He stammers, unable to find the words. The sheer gap is suffocating. Tang Qi explains calmly, almost coldly. Do the math. In the central zone, he earned about 700 points. That means here, in the core zone, he collected more than 2,500. Almost 200 fierce beasts slaughtered single-handedly. A bead of sweat slides down Zhou Mingyang's temple as realization dawns. Su Jingming hadn't been protecting his kills. He had planned from the start to monopolize the entire core zone. One steps forward, his tone serious. That's why we're here. The innermost core zone is all that's left. It's crawling with high-ranked beasts and even a second-order beast king. Charging it alone is suicide. Mengda nods firmly, then turns to Zhou Mingyang. That's why we've united. Join us, Zhou. Together, we might survive what waits inside. With no other choice, Zhou Mingyang clenches his fists and shouts, "Count me in." The uneasy alliance is sealed. The scene shifts. Under the pale glow of the moon, Su Jingming sits silently atop a mountain of beast corpses. His spear is planted firmly at his side, its blade glinting in the faint light. Around him, the air reeks of blood and steel. His rations are gone, his supplies completely drained, yet his hunt for strength is far from finished. The exam is drawing to its close, but he isn't satisfied. Not yet. If I want more power, I have to go deeper. The innermost core zone awaits, where second-order beasts roam. The thought brings a faint grin to his face. With deliberate calm, he summons his system panel. The number before him is staggering. 2413 ability points. Time for one last upgrade. The mischievous grin widens as he channels his points. Power floods through his body, coursing through every muscle, every nerve. He exhales sharply, the ground cracking beneath his feet from the pressure alone. Standing over the colossal corpse of a bear-like beast, he finally allows himself a breath of relief. Yes, with this boost, I can face the exam's finale head-on. Meanwhile, the remaining top students dash toward the final battlefield, their footsteps pounding against broken stone. The last sprint of the combat exam has begun, and deep within the innermost zone, something stirs. From the ruins, a nightmare emerges. A massive wolf-like creature, its fur ghostly white under the moonlight, its eyes glowing with a predatory crimson. Red crystalline spines jut from its back, pulsing with a deadly energy. The air around it vibrates with menace. The final trial has appeared, and as the beast's howl shakes the battlefield, Su Jingming arrives, calm, collected, spear in hand. His gaze fixes on the monstrous wolf, unflinching. Confidence radiates from him as he whispers to himself. So, this is the second-order beast they've prepared. Let's see what you're worth. Just as Su Jingming steps into the final stage, the top-ranked students also make it into the deepest part of the core zone. The moment their eyes lock onto the colossal, crystal-backed monster, they know exactly what it is: a bloodthirsty savage bear. With a single swipe of its massive paw, the beast reduces a wrecked car to scrap metal, showing off its terrifying strength. The sight leaves the group shaken. Zhou Mingyang blurts out that they're in serious danger. Manga explains that this rare creature's hide is tougher than E-grade alloy, strong enough to shrug off even missiles. Worse yet, a single blow from its paw could wipe them all out instantly. Hearing this, Tang Chi suggests they abandon the mission entirely, knowing the odds are stacked against them. But the nightmare doesn't end there. Guarding the compound isn't just the Bear King. An entire pack of elite first-level beasts surrounds it. One member grimly points out that if they charge in, the horde alone will slaughter them before the bear even moves. The tension breaks when one student suddenly throws in the towel, saying there's no reason to risk dying just to get a higher score. Zhou Mingyang snaps at him, mocking the idea of looking good if he's only going to run headfirst into a death trap. Still, the team spirit is shattered beyond repair. Then Mengda shouts and points toward the compound. Everyone's eyes snap in that direction. A lone figure is walking straight into the danger zone. Tang Chi's eyes widen in shock. She recognizes him. It's Su Jingming, stepping fearlessly into the heart of the beast horde. With a fluid leap, Jingming lands inside the compound. The others watch in disbelief. Zhou Ming curses the difficulty of the test, while another student panics, crying out that Jingming's entrance has enraged the entire pack. The beasts roar in unison and rush him from all directions. Standing tall in the middle of the street, Jingming doesn't flinch. Within moments, the wave of snarling creatures swallows him whole. From the rooftop, the students can only watch in horror. Tang Chi's face tightens with worry for her cousin, but Waha shakes his head, saying Jingming was reckless. Tang Chi insists she has to go help. Ming Di grabs her arm to hold her back, and Waha calls her insane, arguing it would only mean a useless death. But Tang Chi refuses to back down, shouting that Jingming is her cousin. She can't just stand by and watch him die. Before she can act, a massive surge of purple and blue lightning explodes from the center of the beast horde. The raw energy tears through the battlefield. Its brilliance, so blinding the rooftop group, is forced to shield their eyes. Zhou Ming stares wide-eyed, asking if this is the lightning power Su Jingming once spoke of. As the blinding storm fades, the aftermath becomes clear. The battlefield is littered with scorched corpses. The entire horde of first-level beasts has been annihilated. At the center of the destruction stands Su Jingming, untouched, his body still wrapped in crackling purple lightning. He admits that raw strength alone wouldn't have been enough, so he unleashed his hidden trump card, his superpower. Feeling the surge of his S-grade ability, he allows a confident smile to spread across his face. With the lesser threats erased, his eyes turn to the real challenge. The bloodthirsty, savage bear towering above the corpses of its fallen pack. The monstrous beast unleashes a roar that shakes the air, but Jing Ming stays composed. He studies his foe carefully, noting its massive frame and lack of agility. Against his thunder ability, this could still be manageable. But then he notices the beast isn't standing alone. Several dangerous minions remain at its side. Knowing they'll only interfere, he makes his decision. His gaze sharpens, his eyes glowing with fierce determination as he declares he will clear the battlefield first. In a flash, he bursts into motion, lightning coursing through his body. His speed is blinding as he tears through the beasts. A high-ranked shadow cat leaps at him, but he cuts it down instantly. His smartwatch chimes, 13 points. Grinning, he marvels at how his thunder power amplifies his body, though he knows he can't maintain this heightened state for long. Still, it's more than enough to wipe out the stragglers. One by one, the lesser creatures fall beneath his spear. With a single sweeping strike, he cuts down a unicorn rhino, earning another 15 points as his watch flashes the confirmation. With the field finally cleared, the real battle begins. The savage bear bellows in rage, slamming its massive paws into the ground. The impact sends a shockwave ripping through the pavement, shaking the earth itself. Then it charges, every step rattling the ground beneath it. Su Jingming, cloaked in his lightning aura, doesn't retreat. He launches forward to meet the beast head-on. At the last moment, he springs upward in a powerful leap, narrowly dodging the beast's crushing advance. His spear whirls in a deadly arc, smashing one of the large red crystals embedded in its back. The fight blurs into a furious clash. Jingming twists and dodges with precision, his counterattacks striking true. One crystal after another shatters beneath his spear, blood spilling as the savage bear's defenses crumble. His smartwatch keeps flashing, updating his points as he relentlessly dismantles the king of beasts piece by piece. The savage bear bellows furiously as its underlings fall one after another. Cloaked in lightning, Su Jingming sneers at the beast, asking if it's angry. He promises it'll be next. As he rushes toward the final rhino, the Beast King's sharp eyes gleam with cunning. Just as Su Jingming prepares to strike, the massive bear suddenly lunges with startling speed. With a brutal swing, it smashes its own minion into pieces, intercepting the attack before it can land. Jingming's eyes narrow in shock. The creature actually predicted his move. Then the Bear King slams its paws together. The last minion is sacrificed in an instant, the impact unleashing a thunderous shockwave that rips apart the ground and shatters nearby vehicles. The rhino is shredded by the explosion, reduced to nothing. But the deadly blast doesn't reach its true target. Su Jingming, his body blazing with lightning, flips through the air with effortless grace. He lands smoothly, completely unscathed, the storm still crackling around him. Now, the battlefield lies empty. No beasts remain, only the two rulers facing each other. Jingming's grin sharpens, electricity surging wildly through his veins. With fierce resolve, he declares that with the minions gone, it's time to test whether the savage bear's armored hide can withstand the full might of his thunder. With a fierce strike, Su Jingming drives his lightning-charged spear straight into the head of the savage bear. The clash erupts in a violent surge of purple energy, engulfing the drone that had been trailing him and instantly cutting its feed. On the rooftop, students stumble back, shielding themselves from the wave of power. Inside the stands, officials stare in silence at the flickering static on the screen. Director Zhang Wenshan snaps out of his shock, glaring at Principal Zhou. He shouts, demanding if what they just saw could truly be called an E-class ability, accusing him of making a joke. Another official, equally stunned, mutters that Su Jingming has the strength to kill a high-tier rank 1 beast instantly, and even hold his own against a rank 2 boss, something even most A-class users would struggle with. Principal Zhou, sweat beading on his forehead, can only stammer that perhaps it's a rare mutation ability. Zhang Wenshan bursts into laughter, declaring that after today, Su Jingming's name will shake the entire Xia nation. Back on the battlefield, the results are revealed. The savage bear has a deep cut carved across its head, but it still stands. With a roar, it swings its massive paw, sending Su Jingming crashing through the air. He hits the ground hard, recovering quickly with practiced skill, but his mind reels. His strongest strike only managed a shallow wound. Analyzing rapidly, he realizes the truth. The beast's hide resists blades, and his lightning doesn't conduct through it. With his current power, finishing the monster in a single blow is impossible. The bear, seething with rage, begins pulling dark energy into its body. Su Jingming stares as the aura swells, muttering in disbelief, "What?" The beast's body grows darker, like a living boulder of destruction, tearing through the battlefield as the ground shakes beneath it. Leaping on a broken debris, Su Jingming steadies himself, purple lightning crackling around him once again. He hadn't expected the savage bear to unleash its berserk state so quickly, but it was clear now the beast's hatred for him ran deep. A note explains, berserk is a beast's counter skill, similar to a human's combat techniques. Once enraged, a beast cloaked in dark energy becomes faster, stronger, and more savage. The monster crouches low, its roar splitting the air before it charges forward with terrifying speed. Su Jingming watches, impressed yet wary, admitting the raw power of a berserk beast is truly overwhelming. Still, he knows one thing for certain. Such strength always comes with a price. Once the beast enters its berserk state, its mind is gone, driven only by raw instinct. Su Jingming quickly adapts, realizing brute force won't win. His only option is to stay out of its reach, relying on speed and precision. He darts across the battlefield, narrowly avoiding the monster's crushing strikes, waiting for the one opening he needs. When the beast lunges forward, he seizes the moment. Lightning surges into his spear, and with a swift thrust, he drives a bolt of energy into its side. The impact jolts the savage bear, its massive frame shuddering as the shock forces it to a halt for just a second. That second is all he needs. Su Jingming's eyes blaze with light as he raises his hand, pulling together an immense storm of purple and blue energy. With full force, he calls upon his S-rank ability, shouting, "Nine heavens divine lightning, blast!" From above, divine lightning crashes down, engulfing the savage beast in a torrent of destruction. The ground trembles under the impact as thunder roars louder than the beast's cries. When the storm fades, smoke rises from the charred body, lying motionless on the shattered street. Su Jingming stands tall, purple lightning still dancing along his fingertips, a confident smile on his face. He declares that not even the toughest hide could withstand half a minute of his divine lightning. But the fight isn't finished. One of the beast's eyes snaps open, burning crimson. With a deafening roar, it lunges one last time, jaws wide to crush him. Its body convulses from the electricity tearing through it, freezing mid-strike just inches away. Calmly, Su Jingming whispers it's time. His eyes flare once more as he gathers every last shred of power into his spear. The weapon hums with destructive force as he unleashes his ultimate technique. Lightning Gale, Break. A blazing sphere of lightning erupts, driving straight into the monster's gaping maw. The explosion detonates inside, tearing the beast apart from within. A vortex of destructive power rips a crater into the street as the massive second-order beast finally collapses, lifeless. The system's voice echoes. Kill confirmed. Ability points plus 124. Kneeling beside the fallen king of beasts, Su Jingming lets out a long breath. The final battle is truly over. He reflects on the fight, noting how upgrading his lightning gale technique made victory possible and quietly acknowledges its devastating power. A victorious smile spreads across Su Jingming's face. Though the fight lasted barely 2 minutes, he admits it was the most thrilling battle of his life. His thoughts quickly shift. If clearing the core area gave him this many points, how many more will he earn by wiping out the rest of the beasts? As night falls, the exam finally comes to an end. In the stands, the giant screen lights up with the final results, and the crowd erupts in cheers. At the top sits Su Jingming with a jaw-dropping 10,835 points. Far behind in second place is Zhou Mingyang with just 1,113, followed by Wu Hao at 945. The officials leap to their feet in excitement. Director Zhang Wenshan, Principal Zhou, and Teacher Chun fan cheer loudly, declaring that Su Jingming has shattered not only their city's record, but the entire Jiangnan province record. They call him a prodigy, marveling that last year's champion had scored just over 8,000. With his achievement, they boldly claim this year's provincial title is already his. Amidst the ruined battlefield, Su Jingming glances toward the sky with a confident smirk. He reflects on how he has already cleared the inner circle and core areas, but with time still on the clock, he makes his decision. Instead of resting, he turns back toward the central zone, determined to cut down as many remaining beasts as possible. As he passes the rooftop where the other elite students are gathered, they can hardly believe what they're seeing. Tang Qi is stunned that her cousin managed to slay a Tier 2 Beast King. Zhou Mingyang, on the other hand, is baffled. Why push further when first place is already secured? She narrows her eyes and guesses the truth. Su Jingming is heading to the central area. The realization sends a chill through the group. Could he really be planning to wipe out every last beast? The thought leaves them speechless. Zhou Mingyang suddenly understands the danger. If they don't act fast, Su Jingming might sweep the central area clean, leaving nothing behind for anyone else. Without hesitation, he declares their alliance over in bolts. The others quickly scatter as well, racing to secure whatever points they can in the final hour. An hour later, a voice echoes across the entire venue. The 2037 Chongqing Martial Arts College entrance examination has officially ended. Further beast kills will no longer be counted. All candidates return immediately. All around the battleground, exhausted students pause and react as the long, grueling exam finally comes to a close. Tang Qi wipes the sweat from her forehead and lets out a long breath, relieved that it's finally over. All around, reactions vary. One student curses in despair for being a single beast short of passing, while another cheers in joy at barely scraping through. Among the chaos, Su Jingming stands over his last fallen beast. Instead of satisfaction, a trace of frustration lingers. He mutters to himself, wondering why the exam had to end so soon. He wasn't finished yet. As the candidates file out of the venue, guards wait at the gates, watching over the tired but relieved students. Outside, Tang Qi's friend Xiaoya is still buzzing with disbelief over Su Jingming's power. Clinging to Tang Qi, she asks yet again if Su Jingming is really her cousin. With an exhausted nod, Tang Qi confirms it. Xiaoya's face flushes red. Her crush has returned. Blushing, she suddenly begs for Su Jingming's contact information. Tang Qi reminds her that only yesterday she claimed she wasn't interested. Xiaoya insists that things are different now that he's the top scorer, pleading even harder. Their chatter is cut short by shouts from the crowd. Su Jingming is coming out. The exit explodes into chaos as students rush forward, eager to catch a glimpse of the new champion. When he finally steps through the gates, spear resting casually on his shoulder, his expression is calm. The crowd erupts in cheers, some congratulating him, others jokingly demanding he share 100 of his points. He smiles and waves, accepting the sudden wave of fame as he makes his way toward the buses. Among the crowd, Wu Hao and Zhou Mingyang watch quietly. Wu Hao mutters that it should have been Zhou Mingyang standing there. But Zhou shakes his head, smiling faintly. He admits he's content with his score. He never imagined the second high school could produce such a monster. Before Su Jingming can board the bus, Principal Zhou intercepts him. offering his congratulations before introducing him to director Zhang Wenshan. The director tells Su Jingming directly that he will personally see him home. One look at the rowdy crowd convinces Su Jingming it's the better choice. Riding the bus now would only mean endless questions. He steps into a sleek black car with the officials, and it speeds away from the venue. Inside, Director Zhang turns to him, asking which superpower university he plans to attend. Su Jingming admits he hasn't thought about it. His focus until now has been only on growing stronger. The director assures him that with his results, he can choose any school he wants. But he gives a word of advice. Half of a nation's most powerful super users graduate from just 3 elite universities. Calmly, he begins to explain the details of the top 3. Director Zhang Wenshan explains the choices. First is Qingjing Superpower University, directly tied to the government. Its graduates enter the national system immediately, serving the country as official superpower users. Next is Modu Superpower University, famed for its unrivaled resources and prestigious elite clubs. Finally, there is Jinxing Superpower University, known for its rich history, formidable faculty, and legacy of training some of the strongest awakeners. He adds that all 3 schools possess cultivation methods of the highest tier, secrets not made public. Su Jingming listens closely, understanding that without such methods, an awakened one cannot become a true superpower user. Curious, he asks what sets a top-tier cultivation method apart. The director answers plainly, with a beginner method, advancing could take 3 to 4 years. With a top-tier method, the same progress could be achieved in only half a year. Smiling, he assures Su Jingming that with his score, even the top 3 universities will open their doors to him with special admission. Later that night, after parting ways with the officials, Su Jingming finally returns to his apartment. Exhausted, he showers the next morning, feeling renewed. Checking his system panel, he notes the 2,534 ability points remaining, more than enough for the path ahead. Drying off, he wonders if beast-killing competitions exist within the universities. If not, he decides he will enter the wilderness himself to keep honing his strength. Just then, his cousin Tang Chi arrives with her mother, Shu Qingwan. Spotting the broken door, Tang Chi grins, taking it as the perfect chance to sneak in and surprise him. They step inside, and Tang Chi calls out cheerfully. Her timing couldn't be worse. Su Jingming steps out from the bathroom in nothing but a towel, stopping dead at the sight of his aunt and cousin. His aunt is just as startled, blurting out what he thinks he's doing, while Tang Chi freezes, her face flushed red. Then Shu Qingwan notices the ruined state of the apartment and immediately demands to know what happened. A flashback reveals their bond. After Su Jingming's parents passed away, his aunt took him in, offering him the warmth of a home. She carried out her duty as his guardian with care, sometimes even cooking his favorite meals to comfort him. Once the awkwardness settles, they sit down together. Shu Qingwan finally voices her feelings. She was terrified when she learned he was taking the martial arts exam. Seeing him safe now fills her with relief. She insists his score doesn't matter to her. Su Jingming blinks in confusion and asks if Tang Chi hadn't told her the results. Tang Chi gives a playful wink, saying it's better if Su Jingming explains it himself. With a shy smile, he finally tells his aunt that he did well, over 10,000 points. The words hit her so hard that she spits out her drink, coughing as she demands he repeat it. Tang Chi jumps in, confirming with a grin that he scored 11,124 points. For a moment, Shu Qingwan is stunned into silence. Then the tears come. She throws her arms around him, holding him tight as she cries out that the Shu family finally has a true successor, and that his parents in heaven must surely be proud. Meanwhile, far away in a sleek, high-tech conference room, university recruiters pore over the exam data. A woman stands at the front, presenting Su Jingming's file. His age, his supposed E-class ability, and his current status as an unranked awakener. One recruiter slams a hand on the table, insisting they must secure this student if the score is genuine. Another shakes his head, unconvinced. With his rank, There's no way he should have achieved results this high. The room breaks into heated debate. Some argue his ability must actually be A-class, perhaps even S-class. Others scoff, claiming the only explanation is cheating. Before the argument can spiral, a commanding voice cuts through. A senior woman at the table silences them all with a sharp look. Calmly, she makes her decision. Su Jingming will be listed as an S-class special recruit, whether the score is real or not. She declares she will personally travel to Jiangsheng to confirm it herself. The morning after the exam, Su Jingming receives a phone alert. The results for the Jiang province martial arts exam are out. His eyes widen as he reads the message. He ranked first in the entire province with an unbelievable score of 11,124 points. Overjoyed, he sits down, letting the reality sink in. He is now the top scholar of Jiangnan province. Word of his achievement spreads like wildfire across the internet, quickly dominating trending searches. Discussions erupt everywhere. How can an unknown figure from Jiangnan suddenly take the top spot? Doubts rise over whether someone labeled as E-class could truly reach such a level. Some call it impossible, while others demand proof, insisting the exam video be released. To address the uproar, an official awards ceremony is arranged. Principal Zhao steps up to face the press. One reporter bluntly asks him to clarify whether Su Jingming's results are genuine. Calm and assured, Zhao responds that the exam video has already been uploaded to the school's website, leaving no room for questions about fairness. As the footage plays, the crowd is stunned. Su Jingming is seen shattering a Tier 1 rhinoceros skull with a single strike, displaying strength even greater than a Tier 1 superhuman. The audience gasps, unable to believe such power could come from someone with only an E-class lightning ability. Principal Zhao proudly confirms the results are authentic. He praises Su Jingming as the first student from Jiangnan to ever claim the title of top scholar. In recognition, Director Xiao Yao steps forward with an enormous check, 1 million yuan, awarded on behalf of the city's education bureau, along with advanced superpower training methods. On top of that, the city government will match the reward and grant him a luxury villa. Reporters rush to capture the moment, their cameras flashing nonstop. Not far away, a sharp-looking woman watches from beside her car, flanked by 2 bodyguards. She scoffs, pointing out that even though the video proves his performance, it doesn't rule out the use of enhancers. She stresses that the key lies in verifying his true superpower level. Back at the ceremony, Director Xiao Yao notices the star of the day hasn't arrived yet. Curious, he asks teacher Chen Fan where Su Jingming might be. With a smile, the teacher explains that he just spoke to him. Su Jingming is still at the martial arts gym, training as usual. The director bursts into laughter, amazed that the new top scholar is already pushing himself further, even right after the exam. While Su Jingming makes his way over, the scene shifts to a private meeting room. Inside, Principal Zhao is nervously pouring tea for 3 imposing figures he respectfully addresses as teachers. When one of them casually pushes the cup aside, Xiao Yao breaks into a cold sweat. The overwhelming pressure radiating from these high-level superhumans makes his heart pound with unease. These 3 aren't ordinary guests. They're recruiters from the nation's top superpower universities. The atmosphere grows tense, their spiritual energy pressing against each other, as if a battle could erupt at any moment. Breaking the silence, a woman with short, gray-purple hair, Zhang Xiaoyue, director of admissions at Modus Superpower University, speaks with a sly tone. She asks her rivals which one of them plans to recruit the rising star. Another recruiter, Su Yun, dressed in a pale blue gown from Qingjing Superpower University, shoots back without hesitation, telling Zhang Xiaoyue to drop the act. With complete confidence, she declares that if Su Jingming's results are real, then he belongs to Qingjing University. Her words draw a scoff from Wu Yuan, a tall man with long black hair representing Jin City Superpower University. He firmly states that Su Jingming will be theirs, dismissing Su Yun's claim outright. Sparks of spiritual energy ripple through the room as the 3 recruiters square off, each unwilling to back down. Watching the exchange, Zhang Xiaoyue notes to herself that these clashes are inevitable. Competing for top scholars always leads to conflict. Just as the tension threatens to explode, the door slides open. Su Jingming steps inside, a spear casually resting on his shoulder. He greets the 3 with calm respect, addressing them as teachers. His sudden appearance catches them off guard. Zhang Xiaoyue studies him closely, noticing his steady presence. Despite facing the crushing aura of 3 elite superhumans, he remains unfazed. Even more, he's still carrying his weapon, proof he hasn't let go of his training for a moment. Principal Zhao quickly makes introductions. Director Zhang Xiaoyue of Modi University, Director Su Yun of Qingjing University, and Minister Wu Yuan of Jin City University. Zhang Xiaoyue is the first to speak. She praises Su Jingming for the breathtaking combat techniques shown in his exam video, but immediately cuts to the core issue. She questions why his ability no longer resembles the weak E-class lightning he was once known for, and asks him to clarify. Prepared for this exact inquiry, Su Jingming delivers his answer calmly. He explains that shortly before the exam, while training at home, he was struck by natural lightning, and ever since then, his power has grown dramatically. Hearing this, both Wu Yuan and Su Yun exchange knowing looks, concluding it must have been a case of superpower mutation. Zhang Xiaoyue then adds her perspective, suggesting that Su Jingming himself may not yet know the true extent of his transformed ability. Zhang Xiaoyue takes the lead, pulling out a superpower detection instrument she brought with her. The device glows with a circular pattern as she places it on the table, inviting Su Jingming to test his power. Without hesitation, Su Jingming presses his hand against it and releases his energy. Instantly, a torrent of purple and white lightning bursts out, wild and violent, engulfing the device. The sheer intensity makes Su Yun's eyes widen in disbelief. The scanner hums as it attempts to read his ability, flashing with unstable lights before finally displaying the result. Purple cloud divine thunder. But as it tries to measure the level, the readings go haywire. The machine beeps erratically, cracks splitting across its surface. Suddenly, a brilliant golden flash erupts. The device shatters in an explosion of sparks, sending electric arcs crackling through the room. Principal Zhao jumps back in shock, stammering out a question about what just happened. Wu Yuan and Su Yun, however, look ecstatic. They immediately confirm what the explosion means. Su Jingming's power has far surpassed the device's capacity. To overload it like that, his superpower must be at least S-class. Hearing this, Zhang Xiaoyue allows herself a smile. Their gamble has paid off. With his S-class potential confirmed, the recruiters waste no time and the bidding war erupts. Wu Yuan moves first, his voice booming as he lays down his offer. Jin City University will provide a 4 million yuan admission bonus, a complete set of C-class equipment, and unrestricted access to all cultivation methods for 4 years. Before he can say more, Su Yun scoffs and counters. Flashing Su Jingming a confident smile, she announces her proposal: 5 million yuan upon entry, plus unlimited access for 4 years to Qingjing University's most advanced S-class techniques and superpower training methods. The generosity of her offer makes Su Jingming pause in surprise. Finally, Zhang Xiaoyue makes her move. She calmly states that Modi University does not offer money or equipment, but they can match the other institutions in training methods. Then she reveals her trump card. Modi will provide him with an S-class cultivation resource every year. Her words leave Wu Yuan and Su Yun speechless. Even Su Jingming blinks in confusion, not recognizing the term. He asks her directly what exactly an S-class resource is. Zhang Xiaoyue explains with a knowing look. She asks if he's familiar with dragon-type fierce beasts, monstrous creatures born with immense innate power, often emerging at Tier 4 or 5, far beyond ordinary beasts. Then she delivers the shocking detail. Modu's S-class cultivation resource includes the heart's blood of an adult, Tier 8 dragon-type fierce beast. Zhang Xiaoyue explains further. Consuming dragon heart blood would transform one's body, strengthening it to rival the raw power of a dragon-type beast itself. And resources of this level aren't rare exceptions. Every S-class resource provided by Modu carries the same value. Her words leave the room in stunned silence. Even Su Yun can't hide her reaction. With a small laugh, she admits that the offer is so extravagant that she herself is tempted, calling Modu's wealth outrageous. Wu Yuan, however, bristles with frustration. He reminds everyone that S-class resources are usually reserved only for the most outstanding senior students. To place them in the hands of a freshman is practically unheard of. The two quickly realize there's no way to match Modu's conditions. They step back, conceding defeat. At last, All three recruiters face Su Jingming, their gazes fixed on him. They tell him it's time to decide. With a steady look and absolute confidence, Su Jingming doesn't hesitate. A determined smile spreads across his face as he declares his choice. He will join Modu Superpower University. After making his decision, Su Jingming explains that his choice wasn't only about Modu's incredible offer. What truly drew him in was their reputation. The best combat training in the entire University Alliance, built on a legacy of many powerful founders who came from Modu. He then bows respectfully to Su Yun and Wu Yuan, thanking them for their offers. Though they hide it behind calm expressions, disappointment flickers in their eyes. Satisfied, Director Zhang Xiaoyue waves her hand, summoning a glowing admission letter. She presents it to Su Jingming with a welcoming smile, officially confirming his place at Modu Superpower University. She informs him that although new students normally enroll on September 1st, as a special recruit, he can register early, and housing will be arranged for him. Excited by the opportunity, Su Jingming immediately asks if he can gain access to the university's library, especially its superpower training methods and combat techniques, before the term begins. Zhang Xiaoyue doesn't hesitate. She tells him the school will not only grant him access, but also provide a private study room. Handing him her contact card, she instructs him to reach out once he arrives in Magic City. Holding the glowing admission letter tightly, Su Jingming grins and says he can't wait to register. Time passes, and soon Su Jingming is at the train station, luggage by his side. His heart races with anticipation as an announcement echoes. Passengers for the G91 train to Magic City, Maine now begin boarding. Nearby, his aunt Su Qingwan wipes at her tears, unable to hide her emotions. Her husband, Tang Dean, gently comforts her, saying proudly that Xiaoming has grown up, and once he leaves, he'll soar higher than ever. Their daughter, Tang Yi, listens quietly as her father reminds her that it's time for her to start filling out her own university applications. He suggests that since her cousin is headed to Magic City Superpower University, she should also consider schools there. Shu Qingwan agrees, adding that it would be good for them to look out for each other. Tang Yi blushes slightly but nods, giving a soft reply. On board the train, with 6 hours left in the journey, Su Jingming wastes no time. He opens his materials and begins studying. His thoughts focus on the most valuable reward from the provincial exam, the Universal C-Class training method. Like superpowers, training methods are also divided into levels: beginner, intermediate, advanced, and top tier. A chart flashes in his mind, showing that the higher the level of the method, the faster one can cultivate and the stronger the results. Su Jingming immerses himself in the study of the Universal C-Class method, noting that it's classified as intermediate. With his current spiritual power of 180, it takes him half a day to fully memorize it. He recalls his first attempt. By following the method's guidance, he was able to sense the unique energy flowing through the world from the very first day of practice. As Su Jingming continues studying on the train, a new option suddenly appears on his system panel, a plus sign beside his level. It means he can now break through, advancing from awakened to full superpower user. Yet he holds back. The training manual's words echo in his mind. The higher the grade of the method used during the breakthrough, the greater the benefits. With top-tier techniques soon within his reach at Modu, it would be a waste to use only an intermediate one now. He firmly decides to wait. When the train finally pulls into Magic City, Su Jingming is left in awe at the sight of Modu Superpower University. From the car window, the sprawling campus stretches across hundreds of meters, vast beyond imagination. A sleek red sports car pulls up beside him. Director Zhang Xiaoyue has come personally to welcome him. She smiles and tells him to hop in so she can guide him through his admission procedures. As they drive, Su Jingming takes in the breathtaking scenery. Rows of cherry blossom trees lining wide paths, elegant buildings rising in the distance. Zhang Xiaoyue proudly explains that the university's grounds cover a staggering 40,000 mu, so large that even visiting students couldn't explore it all in a single day. Su Jingming nods in admiration, admitting that seeing it in person is far beyond anything he imagined. After completing his quick registration, Zhang Xiaoyue hands him his student ID, a single card that grants him access to the dorms and serves multiple functions across campus. Together, they head toward his new accommodations. On the way, Su Jingming recalls the dorms he's seen in his past life. Everything from shared 4-person rooms to modest 3-bedroom apartments. But when he reaches his new housing, He stops in stunned silence. Before him stands a grand villa, lavish, elegant, and far beyond what he ever expected. With a smile, Zhang Jiahui explains that every Modu student lives in a villa, but the luxury level is determined by exam scores. As the provincial top scorer, Su Jingming has been awarded the most extravagant model, over 800 square meters in size. The villa is designed for 2 students with separate upper and lower floors, giving each resident an entire level to themselves. Su Jingming accepts the arrangement calmly, thinking that having a roommate isn't bad. It's better than being alone. Deep down, though, he remembers his past as an orphan, where he grew to appreciate the warmth of shared dorm life, even in cramped quarters. Inside the villa, Director Zhang Jiahui sits down with him to explain several key aspects of university life. She highlights 2 of the most important systems, credits and mentors. She begins with the first. At Modu, credits mean everything. Director Zhang Jiahui continues her explanation. At Modu, credits are the foundation of everything, used for meals, equipment, resources, even powerful cultivation items. She clarifies the value. 1 credit equals roughly 10,000 Daxia currency. She goes on to explain that there are multiple ways to earn credits. One guaranteed method is the fixed allotment granted each year according to a student's rating. Since Su Jingming has been classified as S-class, his starting annual credit balance is 100. To demonstrate, she summons a small floating sphere with a command, EVA. The robot hovers in midair and projects a glowing message, confirming his balance of 100 credits. She introduces the device as Eva, the dorm's AI assistant. Every villa is equipped with one, while the main body of Eva serves as the school's central intelligence system. Even these subunits are level 4 AIs, fully capable of supporting students in daily life. Su Jingming can't hide his amazement. The level of AI technology on Blue Star is far more advanced than anything he experienced in his previous life. With credits explained, Director Zhang Jiahui moves on to the next system, the mentors. She explains that each student has the chance to seek guidance from a mentor of their choosing. The only condition is that the mentor must accept. Intrigued, Su Jingming asks if this means he can receive personal, one-on-one instruction. She confirms it, adding that every mentor at Modu is a powerful, high-level superhuman in their own right. Many have developed their own exclusive combat techniques and cultivation methods, techniques that are never shared outside of their disciples. Given his talent, she tells him a university has 4 lightning element mentors for him to consider. Her top recommendation is Yang Jinshin, Dean of the Weaponry Academy. At her command, Eva projects a detailed profile of the dean. It shows Yang Jinshin is 52 years old, a Tier 7 high-rank, superpowered individual with an A-rank lightning ability. He's renowned for his mastery of weapons, especially the spear, earning him the title Thunder Spear. The profile even records his legendary battle, where he fought an 8th-tier demonic whale for 3 full days and nights before slaying it single-handedly. She also provides information on the other 3 lightning mentors, but reminds Su Jingming that the final decision rests with him. After reviewing the profiles, a confident smile forms on his lips. Not only is Dean Yang Jinshin a lightning wielder, but he's also a spear specialist. The perfect match. Su Jingming decides firmly that Yang Jinshin will be his mentor. With his choice made, Su Jingming sets out for the mentor's residential area. The compound is serene and elegant, a collection of traditional-style buildings hidden among lush forests. As he approaches the massive gate of Dean Yang Jinshin's residence, he can't help but marvel at how much grander it is compared to the student villas. Just as he's about to step forward, a young man with brown hair, leaning against a stone lion, speaks up, asking if Su Jingming is also here to seek mentorship. The young man studies Su Jingming carefully, his brows lifting in surprise when he realizes Shu hasn't advanced yet and is still only at the awakened stage. He guesses aloud that Su Jingming must be one of this year's specially recruited students. Su Jingming confirms it with a nod. The other student remarks that in previous years, special recruits were usually already mid or even high-tier level 1. Introducing himself, the young man says his name is Tanming Yang, a junior from the Weaponry Academy. Su Jingming responds politely, introducing himself as a newly enrolled freshman. Tanming Yang seems impressed, pointing out that it's rare for someone so new to immediately seek a mentor. He explains that most freshmen only learn about this opportunity after the freshman competition, which catches Su Jingming's attention. Tan elaborates. The freshman competition is a long-standing university tradition held just days after registration. All the teachers observe, and the students who shine the brightest often catch the eye of academies, or even get chosen directly by mentors. He adds that while it isn't impossible for a special recruit to try early, attempting to become the dean's disciple right after enrollment is about as likely as winning the lottery. Su Jingming thanks him for the explanation and then asks if Tan is also here to seek mentorship under Dean Yang. Tan sighs and admits he is. He reveals that he's been coming back repeatedly for the past 6 months, but every attempt ended with him being turned away. This was supposed to be his last try before giving up. Just as Tan finishes speaking, the massive doors creak open. A middle-aged man steps out, likely a butler. Tan nearly jumps in shock, but the man's stern expression quickly softens. He greets them and informs them that Dean Yang is waiting inside, inviting them both to enter. Tan Ming Yang freezes, stunned by the unexpected reception. If the dean himself is waiting, does this mean his persistence has finally paid off? The butler leads them through to an inner chamber, where 2 figures are waiting. At once, Su Jingming feels an overwhelming pressure emanating from the older man seated before them. His presence is commanding, his sharp eyes cutting beneath heavy gray brows, and his full beard framing a figure that radiates authority. Su Jingming instantly recognizes him as Yang Jinshin, the dean of the Weaponry Academy. Beside him stand a younger man with long hair, silent but watchful. Without hesitation, Dean Yang Jinshin speaks, his gaze locked firmly on Su Jingming. He addresses him directly, saying he must be the student that Director Zhang Xiaoyuan mentioned. Without sparing Tan Ming Yang a single glance, he turns and tells Su Jingming to follow him to the training grounds. Inside a training hall lined with weapons, Dean Yang Jintian stands before Su Jingming. He mentions that he's already watched the martial arts exam recording, praising Su Jingming's combat technique and his skill with firearms. Still, before making a decision, the dean insists on witnessing his S-rank ability firsthand, the Purple Heaven Divine Thunder. Su Jingming responds calmly, agreeing without hesitation. Under the dean's gaze, arcs of violet lightning begin to coil around his arms. In the next instant, he unleashes a surge of blinding power, purple and white energy exploding outward, filling the entire room with violent force. Yang Jintian's eyes light up as he takes in the display. A grin spreads across his face. He knows instantly this is the mark of an S rank. Inwardly, he compares it to his own A rank ability and admits the truth. The difference between the 2 ranks is a gulf no one can cross. This student's potential is undeniable. If Su Jingming continues refining his abilities, his future could even surpass his own. Satisfied, the dean declares that with such potential, accepting him as a disciple is no issue. But his tone turns stern. He warns that his life has earned him both powerful allies and dangerous enemies. He cannot promise his enemies won't target his disciples. He asks Su Jingming if he is still willing to accept him as a master despite the risk. Without a trace of fear, Su Jingming falls to his knees, a broad grin on his face. He declares his answer proudly. He is willing. He explains that he deeply respects those who grow strong through bloody battles, and the sheer number of foes his teacher has overcome only proves his unmatched strength. Yang Jintian bursts out laughing, clearly pleased. He formally accepts Su Jingming as his disciple, his 32nd student, and more importantly, his very first S-rank disciple. Telling him to rise, the dean presents his new student with 2 gifts, a top-tier ability cultivation method called Extreme Ability Training Method, and a body-tempering combat technique of his own creation, the Thunder Indestructible Body. Su Jingming is stunned by the magnitude of these treasures. He realizes a technique that can strengthen his very body is far rarer and more valuable than any ordinary method. The dean explains that while the training method is already one of only 3 top-tier methods within the academy, the true masterpiece is the Thunder Indestructible Body, the culmination of his entire life's work. Dean Yang Jintian continues, explaining that the Thunder Indestructible Body has already been certified by 2 major martial art halls and officially rated as S-rank. The revelation leaves Su Jingming stunned. He never expected to hear of an S-rank combat technique. Just like abilities, combat techniques are graded from F all the way to SSS. The higher the rank, the harder they are to master, but their power is unmatched. Su Jingming can't help but reflect. Most level 7 masters are already considered extraordinary if they manage to create even a single A-rank technique. Yet his master has forged an S-rank one. The sheer level of talent behind it is terrifying. Yang Jintian goes on to explain the details. The Thunder Indestructible Body is designed exclusively for lightning element users. It consists of 13 levels, and with each step forward, the user's body will undergo a transformation. But there's a catch. Before starting cultivation, one must advance from an awakened ability user to a true ability user. The Dean then sets Su Jingming's first task. He must use the extreme ability training method to break through that threshold. Once he advances, he is to return, and Yang Jintian will personally help him lay the foundation for the Thunder Indestructible Body. Overcome with gratitude, Su Jingming bows deeply. He realizes just how much of a difference it makes to have a mentor's direct guidance. Then, the Dean shares something more personal. He admits that he himself has only cultivated the technique to the 10th level. His eyes shine with expectation as he looks at Su Jingming. If he himself cannot reach the realm of martial saint, then Su Jingming will carry his hopes forward. He believes that if the technique can ever be mastered to its 13th and final stage, the cultivator's body may reach a state of true eternity, indestructible and everlasting. Later, as Su Jingming leaves his master's residence, he waves to the butler before stepping outside. There, he finds Tan Mingyang slumped on the steps, head buried in despair. Su Jingming walks over and asks what happened. Tan reveals the bitter truth. His attempt to become a disciple has failed. He was tested against one of the Dean's senior students, with the condition that he only had to defeat the disciple using 1/10 of their power. Yet, even with such a handicap, Tan was soundly defeated. Now beaten and hopeless, he sits on the steps, looking up at Su Jingming, assuming that he too must have failed. Tan Mingyang forces a wry smile, remarking that becoming Dean Yang's disciple clearly isn't easy. He even offers to share the lessons from his own failures, thinking it might help Su Jingming in the future. But Su Jingming simply shakes his head and answers calmly, "There's no need. He has already passed." The words strike Tan Ming like a heavy blow. His bruised face twists in disbelief as he stammers out his shock. Never before has he heard of a Dean-level mentor taking in a disciple before the annual freshman competition. Yet here, Su Jingming stands, accepted. As Su Jingming walks away with steady composure, Tan Ming can only stare blankly after him. Utterly bewildered, try to make sense of what just happened. With a new purpose in mind, Su Jingming returns to his dormitory training room. Sitting cross-legged, he begins to cultivate using the extreme ability training method gifted by his master. Almost immediately, he can feel the difference. This top-tier technique is worlds apart from the intermediate one he used before. The energy flooding into his body is far denser and more abundant. A confident smirk plays at his lips. He has already grasped the principles of cultivation, so there's no need to follow the steps slowly. Instead, he chooses to rely on his cheat-like system. Pulling up the system panel, he commands it to spend his ability points to push his level higher. The result is instantaneous. A violent surge of energy crashes through him, making him groan under the pressure. His hands clutch at his clothes as raw power rips through his veins. Lightning bursts out uncontrollably, filling the room with light and force so intense the walls tremble. Then just as suddenly it fades. Breathing heavily, Su Jingming slowly rises to his feet. A notification confirms his breakthrough. He has advanced to a first-tier, lower-rank ability user. Blue lightning dances steadily in his palm, far more stable and powerful than before. He channels it once more, and a torrent of energy pours out, stronger and sharper than anything he's unleashed before. Clenching his fist, he marvels at the transformation. His strength has multiplied at least 4 to 5 times over. With this newfound power, he's confident that if he faced the second-tier bloodthirsty Tyrant Bear again, his thunder ability alone would be more than enough to bring it down. Pulling up his system panel, he studies his new stats. The difference is staggering. If he had relied only on the intermediate cultivation method, his vitality and spirit would have risen by perhaps 30 or 40 points. But with this top-tier method, both have jumped by nearly 100 in a single advancement. Now he fully understands why all ability users crave higher-level cultivation techniques. The difference in results is impossible to ignore. Su Jingming notes that the breakthrough only cost him 300 ability points. Choosing to save the rest, he reminds himself that mastering the Thunder Indestructible Body, an S-rank technique, will likely demand a massive amount of points. With his advancement complete, he feels ready for the next stage. A thought crosses his mind. Since he's now at the university, it may be time to explore the school's library. The following day, Su Jingming makes his way back to his master's residence. Dean Yang Jintian is stunned at the sight of him, demanding to know how he could possibly have advanced so quickly. The dean begins pacing, muttering that in 2 decades of teaching, he has seen countless prodigies, yet even the brightest of them needed far more time to make the leap to becoming an ability user. Less than 24 hours have passed since Su Jingming received the manual. With a modest smile, Su Jingming admits that perhaps the only thing he can truly boast about is his extraordinary speed in advancing. But then he confesses that when he attempted to begin cultivating the Thunder Indestructible Body, he found even its introductory stage difficult to grasp. The dean listens carefully before explaining the process in detail. Building the foundation requires the blood of a lightning element beast, fused with one's own lightning, to temper the body's muscles and bones. He stresses an important point. The ultimate strength of the technique depends heavily on the grade of beast blood used. Now that Su Jingming has officially advanced, Yang Jintian declares that they will begin forging the foundation that very day. Originally, his plan was to use the blood of a 7th-tier storm giant bear. But upon learning that Su Jingming is entitled to 1 S-rank resource each year, he made a bold decision. Combining this entitlement and making a personal appeal to the principal, he secured something even rarer, an SS rank resource. From within his robes, he presents a vial containing a glowing crimson liquid, the essence blood of an 8th-tier beast, the Thunder Tyrannosaurus. Su Jingming is shaken by the gesture. That his new teacher and even the principal would go so far on his behalf fills him with gratitude. Accepting the vial, he vows to repay this kindness many times over. Satisfied with his response, the dean declares that they should waste no time. Together, they head into a training chamber, where Su Jingming kneels bare-chested, ready to begin the ritual. Dean Yang Jintian uncorks the vial and pours the glowing crimson blood across Su Jingming's head and back. The instant it touches him, Su Jingming groans through clenched teeth, the heat and pain searing into his body. The dean calmly warns him to endure. It is natural. For low-level users, the blood is extremely toxic and the pain is unavoidable. He then prepares to assist, telling Su Jingming that he will now use his own A-rank ability, Wind Fire True Thunder, to forge the foundation. How much Su Jingming can absorb, however, will depend entirely on him. With that, the dean releases his power, a violent storm of scarlet lightning, and channels it straight into Su Jingming's body. The energy floods through him, glowing red patterns burning across his chest and back. The agony is unbearable, forcing Su Jingming to throw his head back with a guttural scream as his body is hammered by the violent lightning, each strike forcing his muscles and bones to harden under the strain. Days pass in this brutal tempering. On the 5th day, the senior disciple Lu sits with the butler, Uncle Fu, sipping tea. Lu remarks in awe at his junior's resilience, lasting 5 full days under the process. He recalls that he himself only endured 2 days, and that was with the weaker blood of a 7th-tier beast. Though a tinge of jealousy lingers, he admits that Su Jingming's performance proves he truly deserves to use the essence blood of an 8th-tier dragon-type beast. With an S-rank lightning ability on top of that, Lu says he can't wait to see what kind of Thunder Indestructible Body his new junior will forge. Suddenly, a deafening crash shakes the residence, coming from the training chamber. Lu immediately leaps up, rushing upstairs. He cautiously pushes the door open and freezes at the sight before him. Inside, Su Jingming stands shirtless, drenched in blood, his eyes glowing a sinister red. A wild, chaotic aura radiates from him, dark energy and blue lightning entwining violently around his body. In that moment, he looks less like a human and more like a beast. Lu's breath catches. An oppressive pressure floods the room, one that feels just like the presence of a top-tier ferocious beast. His body trembles instinctively. Lost to his primal state, Su Jingming locks onto Lu at the doorway. Without hesitation, he lunges forward to attack, his aura surging with bloodlust. But just before he can strike, a thunderous voice cuts through the chaos. Yang Jintian roars, "Jingming, wake up!" The command slams into his mind, shattering the haze of violence. Su Jingming halts, his hand trembling inches from his senior disciple. Soaked in sweat, gasping for breath, he blinks in confusion. "Teacher, what happened? Why did I feel such a powerful urge to destroy everything?" The dean steps forward, his expression grave. He explains that it was the essence blood of the Thunder Tyrannosaurus. That beast is notorious for its violent ferocity, and because Su Jingming's compatibility and absorption rate were so high, its influence temporarily invaded his mind, an unavoidable, yet dangerous side effect. Dean Yang Jintian places a steady hand on Su Jingming's shoulder, reassuring him. As long as he keeps his emotions in check, the side effects will fade with time. The stronger he grows, the less influence the Thunder Tyrannosaurus blood will have. Su Jingming exhales in relief, lowering his gaze to his trembling hands. The thought of being controlled by his emotions had shaken him, but his master's words calm his heart. Then Yang Jintian's tone shifts. A broad smile spreads across his face as he tells Su Jingming to lift his spirits. The forging was a complete success. Not just success, but perfection. His absorption rate reached an astonishing 98%. The dean proudly explains that the highest ever recorded among disciples cultivating the Thunder indestructible body was only 92. Su Jingming has just shattered a long-standing record. Senior disciple Lu steps forward, offering his congratulations with a smile. He tells Su Jingming that with such a foundation, his path in martial arts will be smooth from here on. The dean then makes a formal introduction. This is Lu Ming, a peak third-tier ability user. If Su Jingming encounters any difficulties in cultivation, he should seek Lu's guidance. Su Jingming greets his senior with respect. Lu chuckles, pulling out his phone. Since he hadn't prepared a gift, he decides to send credits instead. A moment later, Su Jingming's phone vibrates with a notification. 200 credits have just been transferred to him. His eyes widen in shock. That amount equals 2 million great coins. He quickly insists it's far too much, but the dean waves it off. For Lu, 200 credits is nothing, and it is a senior's responsibility to look after his juniors. One day, when Su Jingming has juniors of his own, he too will need to prepare gifts for them. Humbly, Su Jingming accepted this lesson. With the training finished, the dean reminds him that after 5 days without food or water, his body needs rest. He instructs Su Jingming to return the next morning to begin learning fist and spear techniques under Lu's guidance. Grateful, Su Jingming bows deeply, thanking his teacher before leaving. When he returns to his luxurious villa, he finds someone already there. A young man with spiky white hair and striking red eyes lounges on the couch, absorbed in a video game. Sensing he's no longer alone, the young man turns his head and greets Su Jingming casually, guessing he must be his new roommate. With a friendly grin, he introduces himself as Lu Wentao. When Su Jingming introduces himself, Lu Wentao's eyes go wide. He leaps up, pointing in excitement, blurting out that Su Jingming is the top scorer from Jiangnan province. Su Jingming blinks in surprise and asks how he knew. With a grin, Lu Wentao declares his nickname is Mr. Know-It-All. He claims to know nearly everything about the new freshman. Though he didn't go out of his way to look up Su Jingming, the stir he caused was so massive that even he couldn't avoid hearing about it. Wrapping a friendly arm around his shoulder, Lu Wentao laughs in disbelief. Never did he imagine the legendary Dark Horse top scorer would end up as his roommate. Then the floodgates open. He starts peppering Su Jingming with questions. Is he really from Jiangnan? Was he truly still just awakened during the exam? And is his ability really only E rank when it clearly doesn't look like it? Though the endless chatter might overwhelm some, Su Jingming finds himself enjoying it. He reflects quietly. He's always hated loneliness. Memories flash through his mind. Growing up in an orphanage, always feeling like an outsider. School had been better. He'd made friends. His happiest days had been in college, laughing and gaming with his roommates. He even went on to earn his master's and PhD, never expecting that a night of drinking after graduation would end with him waking in another world. Even here, he remained an orphan. But with a talkative, cheerful roommate like Lu Wentao, he feels perhaps he won't be so alone anymore. Meanwhile, Lu Wentao boasts proudly about himself. He's a top student from Sichuan province, with an A rank ability, currently a first-tier, middle rank ability user. He declares boldly that his dream is to major in military tactics and someday command a region's forces to wipe out the ferocious beasts plaguing Blue Star. Su Jingming lets him finish before casually mentioning that he's planning to head to the martial arts hall. Intrigued, Lu Wentao immediately decides to tag along, admitting he hasn't yet checked out the university's hall. The two make their way to the Thunder Martial Arts Hall, one of the branch halls of the magical university. The site inside is lively and chaotic, with countless students training, sparring, and showing off their abilities. An AI named Eva appears to greet them, explaining that they are in the public training chamber, which can accommodate up to 300 people. The hall itself is reinforced with C-rank alloy and memory metal, durable enough to withstand tremendous damage. She also points out the option of private training rooms, but Su Jingming decides the public space would do just fine. Lu Wentao, swept up by the competitive energy, starts shouting excitedly. He points out one student in particular, an A-rank enhanced werewolf ability user, his eyes shining with admiration. Su Jingming can't help but glance at his noisy roommate and remark dryly that Lu Wentao isn't exactly keeping quiet himself. Curious, Su Jingming turns his attention to the large numbered pillars in the middle of the hall and asks Eve about them. The AI explains that they are punch power challenge boards. Each tier of ability users has its own leaderboard, 5 in total. Anyone who manages to place in the top 3,000 of their respective board earns a 50 credit reward. The moment he hears the word reward, Lu Wentao's eyes light up, and he quickly accepts the challenge. Thinking it sounds easy, he smirks confidently. But Eva clarifies that there are just over 4,000 students currently enrolled, and only the top 75% of them even qualify. Unbothered, Lu Wentao swipes his student ID to begin. Eva announces his attempt aloud, drawing the attention of nearby upperclassmen. They immediately begin to sneer, mocking the fact that he's just a first-tier, middle-rank freshman daring to try the challenge. Feeling the pressure of all eyes on him, Lu Wentao steels himself. He clenches his fist, lets out a shout, and drives a heavy punch straight into the pillar. The numbers flash onto the screen, 476 kilograms. Breathing hard, Lu Wentao grins in relief. Not bad at all. With that, he's sure breaking into the top 3,000 will be no problem. But his confidence shatters in the next instant. Eva coldly declares his ranking, beyond 100,000. The room falls silent before bursting into laughter. Eyes wide, Lu Wentao yells in disbelief. How could that be possible? There aren't even 5,000 students in the whole university. Eva responds without emotion, explaining that the leaderboard isn't limited to current students. It has tracked every challenger since the university's founding over 100 years ago. The realization hits him hard. The crowd hadn't gathered out of curiosity. They were waiting for him to make a fool of himself. And he had delivered. The older students roar with laughter, some nearly doubled over, calling the spectacle priceless. Face flushed with humiliation, Lu Wentao can barely lift his head. At his side, Su Jingming offers a calm word of comfort. He reminds him that as a spiritual element user, physical punch strength isn't supposed to be his specialty. Hearing this, Lu Wentao lifts his chin and manages a faint smile, grateful for the reassurance. Then, try to recover some dignity, he urges Su Jingming to give it a try instead, insisting his roommate is bound to score higher. Su Jingming nods, saying he had wanted to test his strength anyway. He swipes his student ID, and Eva announces a challenge. The crowd's attention shifts, but their reaction is just as dismissive. Seeing that he's only a first-tier, lower-rank ability user, most scoff and guess his punch power won't even reach 400 kilograms. Yet among the whispers, one student frowns. The name Su Jingming sounds strangely familiar to him. Meanwhile, Su Jingming stands calmly before the pillar. His thoughts are steady. He has advanced to a first-tier ability user, endured 5 days and nights of brutal tempering, and successfully forged the foundation of the Thunder indestructible body. With all that, he knows exactly what his body is now capable of. A quick glance at his system panel confirms what he already feels in his bones. His physique has been greatly enhanced, and under his skills now sits the first stage of the Thunder indestructible body. Su Jingming curls his fingers into a tight fist, anticipation building. This was the perfect chance to see just how far his strength had risen. Drawing in a deep breath, he channels his power and drives his fist forward. The impact slams into the pillar with explosive force, sending out a shockwave so strong it ripples through the air, rattling the ground beneath everyone's feet. The crowd that had been mocking moments earlier instantly goes silent, eyes widening as they feel the sheer force of the strike. All attention locks on the screen, waiting to see the number that will decide just how terrifying this freshman's strength truly is. That's where we'll leave it for now. If you want to catch the next part, make sure to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss it.